into my dungeon.
Welcome to Cauldron Script. I'm your host, Master Cauldron. If you're new to the show, I use my 24 years of BDSM experience and 20 years working in the psychology field to dispel myths, get rid of stereotypes, and answer your questions about BDSM. You can call in at 865-268-4005 to leave your questions or visit the crypt at cauldronscript.com. On this episode of The Crypt, we're hitting those rules to love by. I have to share with you my new collar maker, daycollars.com, and then we're going to dive into an interesting topic presented to me by a play partner, a friend, a listener, and a show producer, Sort Out the Kinks, on reserved dominance versus assertive submissives. Rules to love by. Rule number 1, safe, sane, consensual, and informed. Rule number 2, kinky, that's KNKI, and comes from the Kinky app, available on all platforms, not a sponsor, but it does stand for knowledge, no intolerance, kindness, and integrity. And rule number 3, the quote from Mr. Paul Young. Submission is not about authority and it's not about obedience. It is all about relationships of love and respect. Daycollars.com is a place for personalized handmade collars, leashes, cuffs, and belts. They cater to everyone, from sporty and informal daily fashion to the leather community. They will guide you through the styling of your accessories, and the whole thing concerning your order is personalized to your needs and specifications. For inspirations and ideas on your personal style or simply to admire their completed works, visit their gallery page at daycollars.com. And on a personal note, if you would like to see one of their products, I've recently collared my submissive Mayfair 85, and you can see her new collar on her FET page. Okay, the reserved dominant versus the assertive submissive may not be the best title because I'm not actually going to pit them against each other, but instead go into some detail about each one. Let's start with the reserved dominant. In order to truly understand this topic, I have to first define what I mean by reserved. This can be done in a few simple descriptive words such as less outgoing, shy, withdrawn, quiet, standoffish, a wallflower. These are all descriptors of what I'm referring to when I say reserved. But just because these things might describe a person, it in no way means that they are not a good dominant. Think about it as you would bread. There are several types: white, wheat, pumpernickel, rye, but they're all bread. There are a few different ingredients that make all those types of bread, but they all also have a few different ingredients that makes them different types of bread. Just as with people, these ingredients are the foundation of what makes us, us. So what are some of the reasons that might make someone more reserved than someone else? Maybe they're working to get over shyness. A lot of people think that a person has to be outgoing or even a type A personality to be a dom or a top, and this simply isn't true. In fact, a lot of the more typical type A's out there would rather be submissive in their personal lives in order to balance out their professional lives. For some, it's education level. Some dominants may not be confident in their skills, and this may contribute to why they're less apt to invite someone to play or agree to play with others. Going to classes can improve this greatly and seriously boost confidence in skills. Limited event experience is another reason that someone may be a little more reserved. But getting out there to play spaces, dungeons, parties, and conventions means getting around like-minded individuals, which in turn means more social education and interaction with experienced people that can teach you the skills necessary to be more confident. The final reason for this is pretty simple: psychological foundation. Whether it is nurture or nature, some people are just quiet, withdrawn, shy, or have some form of social anxiety, and there is nothing wrong with that as long as it doesn't interfere with your activities of daily living. If everyone was the same, it would be a very, very boring world. It is in fact a complete myth propagated by Master Mr. Domley Daddy that if you are like this, then you are not a dom at all, but actually a sub. This is such crap. You don't have to be very extroverted to be a good dom or a top. In fact, I know a lot of very introverted people who are exceptional in their skills as a dominant and a top. A few examples I can give of this would be Corey. Things may be slow going for him at first, but it doesn't mean he doesn't like you or doesn't want to play. He is just a very reserved person that needs a connection with a partner to play with them. Going back to our early episodes, I believe Season 1, Episode 27, Irish Mountain Dragon, my former co-host Fun Size's very own husband. Out of all the people I've met along the way, he is one of the best examples of this, and the link for his interview is in the show notes. But this is where he talks about his social awkwardness and anxiety. But I didn't see any way that those things made him less of a dom than me or anyone else that doesn't have those issues. And believe me, I'm not saying I don't have issues, just not those particular two issues very strongly. But regardless, nothing about it prevents him, you, or anyone else from fulfilling the duties of a dominant. And if you'd like to know what I think those duties are, you can find those in Season 1, Episode 3, The Dom's Role and Common Mistakes, Season 1, Episode 14, The Master Arcane Interview, Season 1, Episode 30, Types of BDSM Dominance, and Season 2, Episode 4, Dominance Bill of Rights and Calling Red. And of course, all these links are in the show notes as well. So moving on into the assertive submissive, again, understanding what I mean by my terminology here is very important. Some people think that assertiveness is being stubborn, overbearing, or controlling, but the way it is meant in this context is simply someone who isn't reserved. They're not afraid to be the center of attention, they don't let social anxieties get in the way of a good time, or they're not afraid to ask a dom or a top to play with them. In other words, outgoing. If you're a reserved person, just talking about some of these things might sound extremely scary to you, or you might wish you could be assertive like these people. But just like the saying that the grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, this isn't without its own set of specific issues. The assertive sub may feel that they intimidate dominance when pursuing a relationship. In Season 1, Episode 50, Who Pursues Whom in BDSM, we talked a lot about this, and both sides of the coin can be a tough sell to you if you feel the other side is the correct one. But regardless, I have known many dominants and tops that would get clammy if they were approached by a sub or a bottom for play or for a potential relationship. I've also heard a lot of stories from S-types about them scaring off potentials because the person they were pursuing believed that anyone that was truly submissive would wait until they were addressed. Personally, I love when someone is assertive and lets me know exactly what they would like from me. But then I really just consider that effective communication, which was discussed at length in Season 1, Episode 24, Effective Communication in BDSM Relationships. Assertive subs might know what they want and not want to waste their time with someone they think doesn't fit. But I've often seen people judge too quickly and pass on opportunities that they, more than likely, would have greatly benefited from. The last thing to consider is being forward in asking for what they want or need. This one is almost always a good thing, but like everything, there is an exception to the rule. Some can be so forward they forget about another person's needs or boundaries and embarrass them or even unintentionally disrespect them or someone that they're close to. I once had someone walk up to me, bite me, tell me I was the sexiest person they've ever met, and forcefully offered their submission while they were holding me by the package. She honestly thought I would appreciate the honesty, flattery, and forwardness. But my date, nor hers, appreciated anything about the actions. So what is the bottom line here? Both of these things can go either way with a reserved or assertive dominant or a reserved or assertive submissive. Whether you're more assertive or more reserved than most, you be you and don't let other people define you as a dominant, as a submissive, as a top, or as a bottom. That is for you to decide. If you feel that these or any other personality traits are causing issues in your life, please do take the bull by the horns, talk to a professional, and develop a plan to change those things. The show notes for this episode, which contain all the links that I've talked about for all the other episodes, can be found at cauldronscript.com/214. Thank you to the show producers, our pro producer who wishes to remain anonymous, executive producers, which is $25 a month, Jeremiah, Jess, Arcane DGR, and Violet Aurelia, Feline Rouge, and Baby Love 2269, senior producers at $10 a month, Matt, Emerald Wolf, JK, Queen Sage, and Sort Out the Kinks. Producers at $5 a month, Kane Sin, That Place in Oklahoma City, thank you, Miter, Roxy Bear, Olive Eyes, Zine, and Alexandria. Junior producers at $1 a month, K2SO, Buffalo Dom 84, Lace Sumi, and Haley. If you would like to become one of the show producers, go to our website, cauldronscript.com/support to get that information. Also, thank you to bdsmcontracts.org. If you're considering any type of contractual DSMS owner property relationship, visit bdsmcontracts.org. Use the coupon code Cauldron20, that's KULDRIN20. There is no spaces there, for a 20% discount off all purchases. And finally, whippingstripes.com, my personal maker of all things leather and paracord impact toys. Next time on The Crypt. But in the meantime, again, cauldronscript.com for show notes, how to subscribe information, the links to our FetLife group so you can take part in the conversation over there and be eligible for our giveaways. All of our contact info is also in the show notes. This has been Master Cauldron for cauldronscript.com. Unearth the truth.